And I hope you have understood. This was something about the Chinese painting, the European painting, the Asian painting, the Western painters, and I think overall it has helped us develop one special thing, that is how to appreciate the paintings. It's not only the things which are painted that turn out to be important, but beyond that, the gaps which are left over there, they are even more important, isn't it? So this is what we say is the beauty of this particular chapter, or it has helped us develop that you can say the eye of the real viewer. It's not only through the eyes of the painter only we should look at the painting. Beyond that is there that we can, like the Chinese painting is basically like that only. You can enter from anywhere and you can then explore it. You can just roam with it. You can just sail with it. You can just enjoy that painting with the painter's imagination. So all that, and then last we talked about the rock garden, which is there in tell me which place is it there. Any one of you just quickly tell me.
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh, okay. And what is special about this rock garden?
There is not flower bushes. It is totally made up of rocks and other types of waste materials like broken things.
Yes, Praved, you're right. It is not a regular kind of garden, or the garden, the perception of the garden that we generally have. It should have it. There should be greenery, more flowers ought to be there, bushes should be there, trees ought to be there, and all variety of greenery should be there. But apart from this, is also a garden, which in general opinion or in common man's view, it cannot be a garden, but it is still a garden, wherein all the thrown away things, discarded things, abandoned things, or waste materials, those things have been used to make a decorative piece of art. And it is so beautiful that the world has, made the mention of this beautiful garden. And can I know from any one of you, from roll number here 1 to 7, any one of you can answer me, who is the architect of this beautiful garden? Anyone? One from roll number 1 to 10, roll number section B.
Nekchand.
Nick Chandia
Make
here. Here also roll number one from that message popped up. Nick Chand is. You can give me the answer as soon as you open your mic. You get your mic on. You can just give me the answers there. While while we have finished all this discussion, I think the beautiful part of it. Then again, the smaller details when we talk about, so in which magazine was it, this mention of great work was done, which year was it, and all that you can just mention over there. Okay. And how the Nekchan says something about his creation, that also you should remember. Now coming on to page number 38, we will see some of the questions today. Got the book? Okay. So now I am putting this question from roll number 9 to 18. So 9 to 18, any one of you just get ready to give me the answer to this question. Contrast the Chinese view of art with the European view with examples. From roll number 9, that is Ayansh, Dipanshi, Divyanshu, Kirti.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Divyanshu, please tell.
In the European view of art, the artist only forces us to see the art through his perspective, not through the independent perspective. But in Chinese art, you can begin from anywhere and watch the art and conclude it according to your perspective.
Very good, Dipanshu. You have done it well and told me correctly. Well, anybody else is there in that group from roll number 9 to 18 to add to this information? You can just do because Dipanshu has, of course, told us what is the concept actually of the European art and the Chinese art. Yet examples are still left. So any one of you can add over there. What examples do you remember? So I'll
so
just
can I?
count. Yeah, yeah. Please tell, Tejasi.
These Chinese paintings are based on imaginative and a spiritual approach,
Hmm.
whereas the European paintings reproduce an actual view or
Yeah.
real object,
Okay.
like
And
the
okay.
painting of Wu Dezai
Hmm.
and metal painters of European illustrate the difference.
Okay, that is good. And any special painting? Would you like to mention any painter's painting? Any name do you want to mention over there? What is that? Even the art of painting can also be called as. Is it called Taoism? Is it called Taoism? Okay, from roll number 1 to 7. What is your opinion about it? What is that form of painting, Chinese painting? Is it called Taoism? If not, then what it is? Okay, all of you are now getting busy to read the text. Anyways, later on, when you just read it out and afterwards you want to just tell me, you can just put a message. Then I'll ask you to do. Now explain the concept of sanshui. Now I'm here moving on to from roll number 23 onwards. 23 onwards. 23
Second,
to, okay, chalo. 28 is trying to say something. Okay, Tejasvi, tell me.
century mean mountain water, which
Hmm.
refers to style of Chinese painting, which
Hmm.
involves natural landscapes
Hmm.
and a spiritual and conceptual space. Mean
Fine.
like yin and yang.
Hmm.
Yin means sorry. Yeah. Yin means earth, and yang means heaven.
Okay, quite good. So, shall I move on to Vijit? Vijit has put some message. Vijit, would you please tell me? Vijit, have you left? We don't want to leave you. Vijit, you had sent a message to be heard from you. If it is Vijit Singh Rathore, sir, please listen to me. Rathore, you have said and you left the meeting. Gussa aa gaya. I had given you on the chance, open chance to you. Doesn't matter. When you get back, I'll listen to you. It's not like that, Anna. Okay. So any other thing like Tejasvi told us, it is something about the Chinese painting refers to the actually it is something about two things, no? It is something about vertical kind of thing and something horizontal. When it refers to mountain, it goes vertical. When it refers to water, it goes horizontal. And there is one thing called yang, and another one is called yin. So yang refers to the masculine part of it, and yin refers to feminine qualities of it. And this is all something about this Chinese painting is mentioned over there. So more important again, you can enter this painting from anywhere in order to appreciate it. Fine. So sanctuary painting actually refers to this basic concept, the yang and yin, and that you must remember. What do you understand by the term outsider art and art, brut and raw art? So, shall I ask now C section? So, C section from roll number, you can just take from Adyansh to Mohammad Abid. Any one of these. Adyansh, Aman, Ayush, Chetan. Tell me, Karthik or Mohammad Abid. Your mics were on. All of you gave me the attendance. So testing of your mic was already done. So tell me, what do you mean by that? Outsider art, art, brut, or raw art? What does it mean, sir? Can I? Who said this one? Can I? Can I? Can I? Was said by someone. Can I? Tejashi. Before some time you had said. So Adyansh is writing over here. Outside art, no formal training for painter. Okay. Maybe Adyansh must be facing of the problem of mic, and that's why he has put it over here. Whether Vijit is back? Vijit is back or not? Vijit has gone. Vijit has gone and has gone not to be back. Just pass a message to him that Kapil sir wants him there. Okay, in the class, and I want to know something from him. Okay, sir, is it Vishwajit? Yeah, maybe Vishwajit because somebody had written. Somebody had written here. Yeah, Vishwajit. Vishwajit, you're right. It is Vishwajit. Well, my question is not answered so far. My question still remains, and I'm just going down at the bottom and asking now somebody else. Rajesh, Rajesh, can you put your mic on? And Saksham, you are also Saksham to answer the questions. So, any one of you two, open the mic. See, this will not work otherwise. Of course, you have to give some responses. They may not be exact, then we are there to modify it. Na? So, I think this way it is not going to work. Or else I will have to talk to your parents that you are not, interactive in the classroom. Okay, Deepak, Ambika, Deepak, any one of you? Okay, no answer from Devansh, Hitesh, and Irshad Farmaiye. Any one of these three? Any one of these three, just tell me. Okay, none from here. So can I ask anyone? I think it was somebody like this girl who wanted Irshad. Sir, please repeat the question. So Irshad, you put your mic on, no? Irshad, put your mic on and give me the answer. So simple. Your question is only this one. What do you understand by the term? So that means you don't have the book with you. What do the terms mean? Outsider art and the art, bird and raw art. What do they mean? Sir, my mic is not working. Okay, but you are working. Give me the answer there in the chat box. In the meanwhile, I'm asking this question to one girl had asked me, Tejashi. Tejashi, you just give me the answer. You wanted to.
Yes.
Okay.
Outsiders art refers to those art who have no right to be artists as they have received no formal training. And art, strut or raw art are the works of art in their raw state as regards cultural and artistic influences.
So, in a way, in a similar way, we can just consider outsider art, bird art, or you can say raw art. They are the works of untrained artists. Am I right, Tejashi?
Yes, sir.
So, because they did not have right, instead of saying like that, we can say because they did not have any formal training. Here it is in that way it is put so that we understand actually though they are painters, but people did not recognize them because they did not have formal training. So as if they do not have any right to be called as painters, like that it was told over there. So what we have to understand and say, as they did not have any formal training, as they could not get any certificate like that, so earlier people refused to recognize them as artists. But there were some one or two people who had coined that term, art brut. So it referred to this kind of art outsider, that is outside the realm of actual methods of painting. So yet they were painters, and yet their paintings also conveyed a lot of meaning. They did not have formal training. For example, that blacksmith one who had drawn a fly there on the canvas of one painter. So he did not have actually any training. Later on, he accepted him as a disciple. But did he have actual formal training at that time? No. So even that also refers to before actually taking the training and all, you can see outside art. Now here outside art again referred to Nickchen's kind of work, and which may not fall under the criteria of painting or the art, yet it turns out to be the wonderful piece of work that was therefore called as art brut or this other terms. Who was the untutored genius who created a paradise, and what is the nature of his contribution to art? My question is open-ended. It is to anyone. Ambika, you left too early. You are not here just to give the attendance. Tejasi is asking. Nekchan, there is one. Adyan Sharma has given the answer. Nekchan. But what about other people? Deepal. Deepal, roll number one, please put it on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Deepal, can you please give me the answer to this question? The question number second part. Who was the untutored? Untutored means one who has not got formal training. Okay, untutored genius, but is a genius, isn't it? Untutored, for example, the characters from Mahabharata. When we say so, Eklavya was untutored warrior. He did not get any formal training from his guru. Only he had made the statue of his guru, and then he as if derived all the knowledge through this statue of his guru. So formal training was received by all the Pandavas and Kauravas, but not by Eklavya. Yet he was also a great warrior, a great Dhanurdhar was he. Similarly, here when we talk about who is called over here untutored genius, who created a paradise. Paradise refers to heaven. Swarg banaya hai on dharti. And what is the nature of his contribution to art? Okay, tell me. Deepal.
Nick Chand.
Okay, I gave such an elaborative kind of question to you, and you ended up just by one, only two words sentence by calling it nature. There is nothing else to say something about this question, Deepal. Just add something to it. Okay, now I'm going to Edwin then. Edwin, are you there in the class? Andla class, apna class. Where are you? Gone. Oh my God. You just keep your phones on and you must be munching your breakfast. Okay? You had a break of 20 minutes. That you could have managed. Anybody else from here can mention what kind of art then was it, and how it was called, Paradise on Earth, Saloni, Bologna. What is Saloni? Idhar gaye?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Saloni, Bolo. What do you have to comment on this one? That particular question which I said.
The
Untutored.
untutored genius who created paradise was Nick Chand, an
Mhm.
80-old creator director who made the world famous rock garden at Chandigarh.
Very good.
Mm.
Mhm. And
Um,
so,
he
so
used
what?
he used everything like tin or to sink to a broken down car to form an artistic piece.
Very good. Now, why it was called Paradise on Earth?
Because he was an outsider art in which he used stone and recycled material.
Okay, and it is still so beautiful that as you enter, you marvel at it, isn't it? Like people say कि वो स्वर्गवासी हो गए करके, नरकवासी हो गए करके कोई बोलता नहीं, कितना भी कमी ना रहो, है ना? So what is the idea? The best place is heaven, isn't it? So when something good, something beautiful, something cherishable, something extraordinary is created, therefore it is called paradise on earth. A wonderful place is created. Against paradise is pandemonium, where there is everything is about confusion. But in paradise, everything is organized, everything is nice, everything. Like for example, we say all these serials wherein some gods and all they appear there on TV serials. I'm talking about. So how we are shown as if they are staying there, all above there in the heavens, everywhere. It's just like fog, and they have big thrones over there, and they are sitting over there enjoying the dances, isn't it? So everything is presented to us so marvelous and beautiful. So such a marvelous thing, such a beautiful thing is created on the earth. So as if earth is made the heaven, it is made paradise there on the earth. That is why Nek Chand is remembered for his wonderful outsider art, and this form of art is outsider art, because in the realm of art probably it does not exist. It does not have any scope. But in today's time, contemporary art is basically like this. It is anything that is considered beyond the school of any particular art can also be a piece of art, isn't it? Like rap music, if you get it to listen to any older generation, they might reject it by saying kya bakwas hai, isn't it? but for today's generation it is okay, you know, and it is correct also. So for them, it still gives them, a thrill. But for the older generation, probably the words, the music, and the emotions there over there, they matter. But today's songs, today's poetry has become very much contemporary to people's thoughts, opinions. And for example, I heard one Vichitra song. मैं किसी और का हूँ फिलहाल के तेरा हो जाऊं. So when I heard this song, I was so shocked. What is this, being sung there in the song? But maybe today's, world has turned out to be such where they don't want to go into depression. If they find something better, maybe they just go ahead with another one. This is, Western culture or European culture, you can say. So it is all cropping into, our culture too. So the today's generation or today's thoughts, this is a society, young society is probably of this point of view, or is probably of that, school of thought. And therefore, even the poetry, the music is to their taste. It thrills them. It gives them, happiness. It makes them, as if they are of that particular era. Like the old songs, you see, they were of that particular 90s song, they were of that particular era that to that generation they were also useful. But contemporary art and contemporary, music, contemporary dance forms, they are some, like my father whenever would see the modern actors dance, my father would say कवायत कर रहे हैं क्या, for example they were doing the drill, मतलब PT kar rahe kya, like that he used to say. But now you see all the dances done by the youngsters, they are just like that, as if they are doing some kind of exercise or fight they are doing, you know. So like this fellow Jockey Shroff's son, so as if in all the movies it's only action, there may be very little of story in it, but only for showing his action, his body and all that the movies are made. This is today's requirement, maybe today's generation or the young generation demands all that, and that is why it is contemporary. Anyways, now moving on to the next part. So thinking about the text, so discuss the following statements in group. So we do not have any group over here. Let us see now the what is that statement. The emperor may rule over the territory he has conquered, but only the artist knows the way within. So what does it mean? Open-ended question. Anyone. The emperor may rule a territory, but only the artist knows the way within. What does it mean? How do you understand? How do you interpret it? Of course, I have explained this one to you. Yet, what do you mean by all that? Tell me. 30, we all including, yeah, here. Irshad, you just tell me, you wanted to say something, but your mic was not working. So Irshad is writing over here. Oh my God, he went on writing answers to those questions. So let me just read out some of the answers which Irshad had written, because maybe his mic was not, cooperating with him today. So the last question that we had asked something about untutored genius, and he went on writing, who created Paradise was Nekchand, and an 80-year-old creator director who made it world famous rock garden at Chandigarh. And his was an outsider art in which he sculpted with stone and recycled material. Okay, right, and I agree. And for this question, I think Irshad is writing, an emperor might rule an entire kingdom and have power over the conquered territory. Only an artist would be able to go beyond any material appearance. Okay, so Irshad, of course, you have said something about it. The artist is able to go beyond any material appearance. Now I'm to ask someone. Let me just ask. If Edwin does not give me the answer now, this means that Edwin only puts it on and goes elsewhere. So Edwin, I am asking this question to you. I'll make a call, otherwise you're home today. That means almost for 15 minutes I am calling out your name and you are not at all there. So you have just made it mandatory just to give attendance and afterwards gone from there and never to get back. Praved, please answer.
Yes, sir.
Praved, you know what did I say recently? this comment of Irshad on this question, I read it out. And
Yes, sir.
what part is mentioned over here? It is material appearance. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
an artist goes beyond any material appearance. So
Sir,
you
here the concept of Taoism is said, where the artist only knows the ways of
hmm.
the territories the emperor has conquered. That emperor only sees the appearance of the territory, but he doesn't know the insides of it. Only the artist knows the true selves of the territory.
Okay, Praveen. Now I'm going to explain more in detail of this particular point. Suppose we say territory is something which is material part of thing. Okay, so this can be seen, this can be ruled over, but an artist deals probably with something called even higher thing, spirituality, and over which nobody's control is there, isn't it? You may control couple only as a body, but you cannot control the thoughts of couple. You got my point? You cannot control the ideas that are going there in the mind of this man couple. You cannot, and that is what is going beyond the materialistic world. So only the artist can go beyond that. Some people are skilled in one particular area. For example, I'm skilled in teaching. I can be a good teacher, but I cannot be a doctor. I cannot be an engineer. Similarly, a doctor can be a doctor, but he cannot necessarily be a good teacher. An engineer can necessarily be an engineer, good at engineering. His mindset is that of engineering, but he cannot be a good teacher. Okay, that is not necessary. Similarly, for the emperor, he is basically a ruler, and a ruler's job is to get a big territory, to establish one's rule over there and rule that particular kingdom. But for the artist, the whole world is his. For the poets and writers, the whole world is all theirs. Nobody can rule them, nobody can control them. Isilye, one poet wrote, and there is a song. In this song is that Sonu Nigam sang all that this song. कि पंछी नदिया पवन के झोंके कोई सरहद ना इन्हें रोके. So how long can you have control over things? As you're a king, you can only have control over the land. You can say this, even the hilly part also belongs to you, but you cannot have control over the breeze blowing over there. You cannot have control over the sky that is seen on that territory, and you cannot have control over the beasts over there, and even the birds over there. No control over that. And just like that, in spirit, it is not possible to have control over everything. Because you are a king, you feel that you can rule everything. This is not always possible. So like that, it is this art form. Therefore, we say ki emperor only can rule. He can conquer. But for an artist, he goes even beyond that. He wins the heart of the people. He reaches the spirit of people. That is something great. That is something extraordinary. That is something fabulous. And we have to understand and appreciate this part of painting. Next one question we'll just handle, and then we'll end up this class. The landscape is an inner one, and spiritual and conceptual. Yeah. So, have you got my question? After this question, I'll give you one information that has come to me just now. The landscape is an inner one, a spiritual and conceptual space. Who is there to answer me this? Not in chat, first of all. Give me your answer here. Give me your answer here. Use your mic. Make my class interactive. It's only by interaction it is all possible. Tejashi, Tejashi, I am going to you. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tejashi, please tell me, what does this mean? The landscape is an inner one, a spiritual and conceptual space. How do you
The,
understand this?
the Chinese painter had made in Chinese art, which
Hmm.
is physical as well as mental participation, that
Hmm.
the landscape was continuous to travel up and down, and
Hmm.
but the landscape was not real and can be reached from any point from the
Hmm.
mind of the artist.
Right. And there in Chinese painting, it is not only the painting that matters, also, which is not painted, the white, part there in the landscape or canvas. Even those things are, quite so meaningful. So it is just like a spiritual kind of experience. For example, if I am not believer in the spirituality, so for me, nothing, it does not exist. For me, it's only the science that exists. Okay. But for those people, spirituality exists. So for them, material things of science, are immaterial for them. They go beyond that. They are probably lost in their own thought and trance. For example, Khushwant Singh's grandma, as was explained to us, she did not like music, the Western music. She meant it was meant for the harlots, and all the day whole she used to have that rosary beads turning all the time, they calling out the god's name, always. And then like that, that is the spiritual aspect of hers, isn't it? So for those people who can enter that, who can appreciate this Chinese painting, can appreciate from anywhere. It is not just the part which is already drawn or made beautiful. Beyond that also there is something. Well, beyond this, now I want to tell you something. For extempore, you all, I'm asking you some questions. Of course the questions are given over there, but you are giving me the answer on the spur of the moment, isn't it? So this is what is extempore. So you are supposed to be able, after taking enough of education, you should be able to speak on anything, any topic. And they are the topics not out of the world, isn't it? They are very common topics. So and one thing has already been made very easy for you. Principal sir told, instead of giving topics on the spot, we will give our children topic beforehand itself, much before the starting. Maybe in the first half we will give you the topics. But instead of giving you one topic, we may give you 5 6 topics. You just think on all 5 6 topics, and out of any this 5 6 topics, you would have to speak on any one topic as comes to you, as a lottery in the competition. So you people do participate. Participation is less at this moment, and if enough participation is there, good chances of winning the prizes are also there. Your apt answer, quick answer, your quick thinking at that moment would be very so useful. So please don't hesitate to participate in this competition. It is useful for you. It will be useful for you all your life. You appear for an interview, it will be extremely useful. Now also, when you go, meet your teachers in the lab and all, and when they take your viva, it is just the same thing. Anything, the whole subject is there, but anything from there is asked, and then you are ready to present it. Presentable matter, the manner of presentation, these two things will be very important. This is my suggestion to you, and you apply quickly. Okay. So I think I should end my class. If there is anyone to give attendance, you just tell me now who had joined late and is still there with us. Okay, I think I must take this class that has already come to an end. In the next class, probably we will start a new chapter. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
sir.
bye.